I'm springing this on all four of us here, but when you look at the Atlantic Division, Tampa, Boston, Toronto, Florida, Detroit, Montreal, Ottawa, Buffalo, how do you see this playing out day one?
I think four teams make the playoffs. I think Florida's going to make it this year. Certainly, some of that's on if Luongo can stay healthy, but I think they're pretty good. I mean, they missed by a point last year. Barkov is a fantastic player, but I see the problem for the teams that are trying to improve in that division is the big boys. Tampa, Toronto, and Boston are really good.
Yeah,
and they're gonna pound the bottom of the division. While those teams are trying to get the bottom of their. Those teams are just trying to figure out what they got. Buffalo's trying to get Middlestad in, and Detroit's trying to get Zadina in, and Rasmussen, and so they're trying to. All those teams are trying to inch their way along, and man, they're miles from those good teams.
Yeah, I think the same thing. You look at the top, Tampa, Boston, Toronto, they're just going to jockey for position all year long.
Yeah.
I think Florida is going to be a good team, depending on Bobby Lou's health. Buffalo could surprise people and push, and I think those bottom three teams are just going to get dummied.
Even Montreal with Price, if he's healthy and performs? I mean, that's the one wild card,
I think
isn't it, Price?
They could push to be like on the outside of a wild card, like in ninth, like something like that. But the top three teams for me are set in stone, and we're going to have a situation where if everything goes right with those teams, where, what was it, Christmas on last year?
Yeah, all three of them had determined where they were by Christmas at the latest.
I mean,
Maybe
Tampa had that
that
ridiculous run and came back to earth a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Boston went on a run from November, wasn't it?
They were the hottest team in the league.
Those guys had stretched themselves so far away from the division. It was like it was two different games going on.
Right.
So to Montreal, I mean, Price, of course, makes a huge difference and when he's healthy and he can play, and so I'm going to say, I think he's going to do that again. But they don't have Weber for a long time. Paul Byron's not going to be ready to start camp. They're already injured. Their center ice position is terrible right now. I mean, they just got Suzuki, but look at where are the goals coming from? They got to score eventually, even with Price back, and now without Pacioretty, I do think it's a bit of a longer year maybe than Noodles. You think they can get around the edge of the playoffs? I just don't. I don't really feel that.
That's if Price plays like Price. If he doesn't, if he just succumbs to getting piled on, then they're 11th, 12th.
Yeah, I think the one thing I feel somewhat confident in is that for the first time in 5-6 years, Buffalo probably won't finish last.
I think Buffalo is one of the. I've told these guys this. I don't know where you are, Ray, but I think they quietly had an outstanding summer, and I think if Ullmark and Hutton can hold up in net, because that's a significant upgrade for me. Robin Lehner is. I don't know if you guys read that article today. He's gone through some struggles, and I hope he's all right. But he was at best a very erratic goaltender. For me, Linus Ullmark is a really up and coming good goaltender, kind of like Vasilevsky was before. He was pushing to be an NHLer, and so I think he's a couple years away from being really good. But Hutton will bring him along. But Dahlin settling in, Middlestad. I think they had a good summer, but they're not at that next level yet. But they're going to be better than some of the other teams we were talking about.